Many of you, it's not devil that is after you, it's ignorance that is worrying you. You notice that when people are looking for a job, they will tell them, we need somebody with 3 years experience. Where do you want a fresh graduate to get 3 years experience? But that fresh graduate can get a 3 years experience if he understands how to package his experience. So if you are in a church and you are in a department, you are in ushering department, that's an experience. You are in children's church, that's an experience. You are in technical department, that's an experience. So when they say you have 3 years, they say yes, I have 3 years experience in volunteering. Many of you, you are underpricing yourself. The quality of what you have, you should not be suffering financially. But because you don't understand this pricing, you think you are a sinner. Because sometimes the problem is that many of us have not been schooled in the skill of communication. When you are a businessman or a businesswoman that have a desire to please God and be a person of integrity, you need knowledge to be able to know when you are operating in integrity and when you are operating in foolishness. There's a difference between faith, foolishness, and presumption. So if you buy a product for 100 naira and you sell for 200 naira, a lay mind will say that you are making 100% profit. But that's not true. That's not true. You are not making 100%. It's even possible that you are making a loss. So you see a lot of people that have done business and then they will just buy and double the price. And they say, oh, I doubled the price. I'm making 100%. You are not making 100%. So I was sharing with them yesterday of the mistakes that I have made in thinking that, oh, that's the way it's done. In different industries, there are formulas. Depending on the industry you work in, there are formulas for calculating the price of a product. So sometimes it's times 6, sometimes it's times 3, sometimes so there are formulas. Sometimes it's 2.1. So there are a lot of formulas. But people that have not gone to business school, or they have not gone for training, or they have not been mentored, or they have not gone through apprenticeship, then they don't know all these things. Now there are some ships that you need to consider in the cruising of your life. So repeat after me: internship, apprenticeship, mentorship, relationship. So internship is a relationship. Apprenticeship is a relationship. Mentorship is a relationship. When you look at the Igbo apprenticeship scheme, which has become a global standard, studied all the way to Harvard, you realize that one of the things that happens in that scheme is that a young man is picked up by a family member and is trained for a number of years, and within that number of years, he learns a lot of things under his master. He learns sales, he learns marketing, he learns negotiation, he learns stock taking. Even though he did not go to an official business school, he knows more than many people that went to business school. So now, let's look at a few things that you consider when you are pricing a good. Number one, purchasing costs. How much did you buy the product? Or what you call production costs. How much did you produce? So if you are the one producing, how much did you produce it? If you are the one buying, how much did you buy it? Now, purchasing price is different from landing price. So when you went to Ojuwoye market, or you went to Oshodi market, or you went to Daleko market, or you went to Alaba market, or you went to Computer Village, and you bought 10 of those items, when you bought them, the price they put on the invoice is the price you used to buy it. But the transport that took you there and the transport that will take you back to your office, the truck that will carry the load back to your office is not on that invoice. So you need to add that price. That is called logistics cost. Then when you bring that good or that product into your store, you are now going to store the product. It's called storage cost. How much is the space that that product is taking in your shop? Don't forget that you are paying for that shop for 1 year, and that rent must come from somewhere. So that space, how much? storage costs. Then, when you put it there, the money you use to buy the products, where did you get the money from? Did you collect it from a bank and you are paying loan? Did somebody give you to say you will return the... So, cost of fund. How much is it costing you? And don't forget that that money that you are using to buy that product has to be replaced with profit for you to remain in business. Then, when you finish selling and you want to go and buy another one, what will it cost you is called replacement cost. So you have to think of the cost of replacement, because what you bought for 10,000 today, that you say you are selling for 20,000, which is a trouble already. By the time you now go back to the market to replace it, they now say it's 18,000. And you cannot keep increasing the price of product almost every week. Now, then when you now bring the product, don't forget that you have staff that you are going to pay at the end of the month. All those people you are going to pay, where is their salary coming from? From the realm of the spirit? No, it is the product you are selling. So, personnel costs, staff costs. Then, don't forget that that office, you are burning diesel. You have inverter. Or you are buying data, internet, phone. You are buying toilet roll in the toilet. Staff are drinking tea. So all those money you spend in the office is called running costs. Then don't forget that taxman will come. You have VAT, you have payee, withholding tax, annual return. That is now statutory costs. Now, when you are doing all these things, you are also now thinking of competitors' price. We have not come to profit. By the time you add all this money, what you bought for 10,000, you probably be at 30 already. Then you now put what is called markup. So markup is now how much profit do I now want to make on this product? Do I want to make 30%, 10%, 15%? By the time you now add everything together, don't forget, depending on the business you are doing, you also now need to factor in what we call, are you ready? Wholesale price and retail price. Because you are now still going to give discount to some people. You see now, pricing. So many of you, it's not devil that is after you, it's ignorance that is worrying you. Come to Entrepreneurship Academy, you will not come. It's not spiritual. You want deliverance school. Hello? So when we start school of deliverance, all this business, everything is business. This one that they are doing success business, and they should just turn it to. Hello? Are you seeing pricing? Now, pricing a product is different from pricing a service. Now, when you are pricing a service, especially when it's intellectual property, it is not tangible and visible. So it becomes difficult for people to comprehend. Hello? So somebody wants to buy a land of 50 million. And instead of doing their due diligence with 500,000, so what am I paying for? So the lawyer says, this land you want to buy, give me 500,000 to help you do search. We'll check the people buy the company. We'll go check their CAC. We'll check whether they are registered with SEC. We'll check their director. They are from CO7. We confirm their operation. We have confirmed their office. We'll confirm the 500. They say, for what? What am I paying for? So when people say, what am I paying for? Just walk away. Leave them in their ignorance. Because if they don't pay, they will pay. It's either you pay now or you pay later. But when you are paying later, you pay higher. Now, the person that refused to pay 500,000 to do due diligence will now lose 50 million and end up spending 10 million in a court case. Hello? So, when you are pricing something that is not a product, that is a service, it's a different ballgame. You know why? Because when you are pricing a service, majority of the elements of what you are selling is invisible and is intangible. So for instance, you are a fashion designer. If you are a fashion designer and somebody wants to sew a dress or cloth or whatever English is correct, the cost of the material and all those costs is there. But you see, you are the one that will sit on the machine and now do all the work, the bidding, everything. Now, that's your time. They don't know whether it's 1 hour, because some things you can do it in 30 minutes. Some it will take you 5 days. But they are not aware of that. The skill that you have, the training you went to, how much you paid for school, all those things, because they are not seeing it. They're like, how much is the cloth? How can I buy clothes? 5,000. You are charging me 50,000. Wait till you they sew. Because they are not seeing it. So, how do you operate if you are in the service business? Depending on the kind of service. The first thing is to identify those normal costs. But you see, because you are in the service business, you are not selling a product. When you are in a service, you have to be more strategic. Why? Because if they love you, over time, you will recover your money. If they see your value, over time, you will recover your money. Because if somebody is buying a shoe, they already know the value of a shoe. But if somebody is bringing a cloth for you to sew, they don't know what value you have above other tailors or designers. So you need to push that. So in pushing that, what you should focus on is make sure you are not making a loss. So you don't start out thinking of profits. You start out thinking of credibility, customer, and acceptance. Getting customer, being accepted in the market, building credibility. Do you understand now? So it is, as you continue to do that, you have this customer, you have satisfied them, you have this one, you have satisfied them, you are taking their referral, you are taking their feedback, you are building a group of people, so that by the time you now want to go to another set of people, you will now say, we have done for this. These are the list of our satisfied customer. By the time, don't forget, those satisfied customer, you may not have made any money from them. But imagine now that somebody comes to you now and says, this is my invoice, and this is a list of satisfied customer, and you see 87 people that they have satisfied. Whether they made money or not, that's not your business. But you say, you don't satisfy 87, and they say you can contact them. Whether you like it or not, psychologically, it tells you this person is not a novice. But if you insist that I cannot do anything free for anybody, you will not have anybody to recommend that you have satisfied. So you will forever be a beginner. Have you noticed that when people are looking for a job, they will tell them, we need somebody with 3 years experience. Where do you want a fresh graduate to get 3 years experience? But that fresh graduate can get a 3 years experience if he understands how to package his experience. So if you are in a church and you are in a department, you are in ushering department, that's an experience. You are in children's church, that's an experience. You are in technical department, that's an experience. So when they say, you have 3 years, they say, yes, I have 3 years experience in volunteering. I volunteered for 3 years in a non-for-profit organization. That's what the church is. Hello, I volunteer for the non-for-profit organization, and I show up there once every week. Don't say every Sunday. Don't say church. Not-for-profit. Hello, a faith base. Do you understand now? And don't say every Sunday, I volunteer and I'm there once every week, twice every week for the past 11 years. Abba. Hello? Because sometimes the problem is that many of us have not been schooled in the skill of communication. Now, when you say, we did 6 figures, I hope you know that when you say we did 6 figure is from 100,000 to 999,000. It's less than $1 million. But when you say we did 6 figure, you have left them with a wide gap to be using their brain to crack. But when you say, how much did you make last year? 200,000. How can you say 200,000? We did 6 figure. Because it is what? 6 figure. 100,000, 6 figure. 300,000, 6 figure. 800,000, 6 figure. So we did 7 figures last year. 7 figures. 7 figures is from 1 million all the way. We did 8 figures. Say, Hello? Now, just to help you. Because communication is very key. Now, if you have, look at this now. If you have a carton or a box, and inside that box, let's use pharmaceuticals for instance. So inside that box, You now have 20 packs. Please, mathematics, somebody be helping me. Oh. There's a box. Inside that box, you have 20 packs. Inside each of those packs, you have 10 sachets. So that's now 10 sachets times 20 boxes. Okay, so do the calculation. Then inside each sachet, you have 20 tablets. So that's 20 tablets times 10 sachets in the box times 20. What's the total? 4,000. Now, listen. If you now say, I'm telling you, service. You are an NGO, you are a comedian, if you now say, last year alone, we gave 4,000 tablets. You know you have not lied. But if you say last year we gave 1 carton, what is she now? You gave just 1 carton. But if you say last year we gave away 4,000 tablets. Once they see 1,000, they are forgotten tablets. In psychology, they won't think tablet is number, not tablet. It's numbers, 4,000. Hello? So when you are pricing a service, focus more on what? Credibility, customer base, and what's the third one? Did you write it down? Acceptance, yeah. So now, there are a lot of things you will do pro bono. A lot of things, especially you are a comedian, you are a speaker, you are a consultant. You need to have what we call the proof of concept to even be sure that this thing can work. And to do that, it's not money you are looking for. It's those 3 things. With time, you can now begin to build yourself. When you are getting testimonial, you are seeing the value. You now begin to say, okay, I can now charge this. I can now charge this. I can now charge that. Do you understand that? So now let me go to the other side of pricing. Don't price yourself too high. It can be a problem. Don't price yourself too low. It can be a problem. When you now decide to price, too high, too low can be a problem. But what determines whether the pricing is appropriate, because pricing is relative to your target market, is the fact of who is the person that is buying. Because there are some people, once it is cheap, they are not interested. Because cheap communicates fake, communicates inferior. But when it is expensive, it communicates class, exclusivity. Because at a level in the life of people, they don't buy product, they buy experience. They buy status, they buy belong. So you have to now decide by yourself that, you know what, this is where I'm going to operate. Now, let me see if I can give you 2 true life stories using my experience. So we started our estate in 99, with 1997, 98, 99, just buying. Then in 2001, we started the major estates. We bought the land for 50,000 and sold for 100,000. Great mistake. We thought we were making profit. We bought for 300,000 per acre. We sold for 500. Great mistake. Till today, I have not recovered from the debt. 24 years later. The trouble is still there 24 years later. Why? Because if somebody buys, you buy a land for 50,000, you sold for 100. It was when I now got back to the office. People were paying, they were paying. And I got back to the office because we bought 50 acres. And 50 acres is supposed to be 300 plots. We now started selling and selling. When I now got to the office, look, I studied building technology and quantity survey, going to school, academic education and street smart. That's where mentorship comes in. Internship you did not do, apprenticeship you did not do, mentorship you are not doing, no problem. I now sat down. And I said, okay, so how do we go about? I said, we need to do a layout. I said, which one is layout? They said, we have to divide so that everybody can get to their plot. By the time they now did division, they say out of the 50 acres, we would need about 10 acres for road. I didn't think of road when I was selling land. Road. I say road. Then, before you know it, the 300 has reduced. Then they say we'll now do a perimeter fencing, perimeter survey. By the time they told me the money, it was more than all the money that people pay. I'm like, hey, The now say, when we now do that, everybody will now have to do survey. I said, they will do survey. Say, yeah. He said, if you buy a car, you have to now pay for plate number registration. I said, me, I thought that. I said, so that's okay. Everybody, you have to do survey. I went to the government. Say, how much is survey? They said survey is 18,000. It's okay, no problem. So we now added 2,000 admin. We now wrote letter to everybody to say you will pay 20,000 naira for survey. That's where Wahala started. So which one is survey? And you call yourself a pastor. You don't tell whether they drag you on social media. I don't let you know. And you call yourself a pastor. How can you be like? How can you not be lying? What is your, we have paid for everything. See, you didn't pay. You paid for land. As I'm speaking to you right now, after a while, the survey went from 18,000 to 25,000. And now say, the way this thing is going, that means this will be increased. After a while, it became 40. Now it's 500,000. You know what I now did? All the profit, all the other money, I now went ahead to do the survey for everybody. That, okay, when they now come to pay, I will recover till today under God. Some of those surveys are still there 24 years later. Some people refuse to show up. Say we're not paying. Guess what? Because I'm a pastor, I cannot sell the land. So I have been securing and maintaining that land because of it. So that when they come, their land will be there. And I started collecting money from investors. I now use investor money that I'm paying 20% to be securing land for people that are not coming. By the time I wake up, I thought I was owing 1.8 billion, 4-point-something billion debts on top land where they keep for people. Guess what? Even till last week, somebody sent me an email. I bought a land from you in 2005. What's the status? That's 20 years ago. I said, no problem. The land is there, but you are owing us. By the time we gave them the 8.5, he said, are you serious? Is that how you do people to become rich? How can I pay you 8.6 million for a land I bought for 200,000? You will hear from my lawyer. Last week. What was the charge? In the letter we gave to them, we said, this land we are giving you now, you have 5 years to build. It was documented. After 5 years, you will now begin to pay security and maintenance. So all we charge is 10,000 per month times 12 times the number of years. And then we'll do your new survey in the present level. At the point, I had 89 court cases. Yes, your pastor. I was going to FCC and going to anti-fraud, we meet people. Even this one, I still went to FCC, was it 2 weeks ago? When I got there, hey, bless you, sir, bless you, sir. I said, hey, my people. Pricing. I went to London to sell land. So I said, since we are selling this land, in those days, pounds was 250 naira to a pound. And it was like that for almost 20 years or more. If you know about it, was 250. It never went below 240, never went above 260. Stayed like that for almost 20 years. Very stable economy. So I went to Ben TV, I went to Nigeria FM, and I did publicity. Come and buy land in Nigeria, £400 per plot. Because I just wanted to sell the same Nigerian naira I converted to pass £400. Lots of people were calling. Lots of people were texting. They want to buy, they want to buy. So when they started to say, okay, so you say 400, is that the first installment? I said, no, 400 is the old land. The old land. Because where they are coming for that £400, he cannot even pay their monthly bill. This guy cannot be real. How can you want to sell a whole land? £400. I came back, maybe I saw a few plots. So I was confused. I said, God, what am I doing? They say, your price is too small. So you are pricing like a Nigerian. You have forgotten the... Guess what? Because of time. 3 months later, I went back to the same TV station, the same radio station, announced the same plot of land, £2,000. And they started paying. Because now it was closer. Because sometimes you think you are a good person. You are not a good person. You are just an ignorant person. Hello? When I started out in book writing, I did a research on books. And when I did my research, I discovered the 5 secrets of best-selling author. Number 1 is the name of the author. You must have a name that people want to listen to. Number 2 is the title of the book. Number 3 is the content of the book. Number 4 is the quality of the book. Number 5 is the price of the book. So when I discovered that, I told myself the truth. If people are lying to you, don't lie to yourself. Some of you think because you are reigning in your church, you are reigning in the body of Christ. You are not. You can even reign in Lagos. They don't know you in the East. There are powerful musicians in Aba. Nobody knows them in Lagos. They are local reigning. Because you can either be a big fish in a small river or a small fish in a big river. So I sat down and I told myself, out of these 5, Olumide, name 0. Nobody knows you. Hello? Content 0. It is when they read it that they will know the content. So don't deceive yourself that I know what I wrote. You are not the one going to buy it. Hello? So if name is 0, content is 0, you are left with 3. Price, quality, and title. So I became a professor in titling my books. So if you see all my books forever, I've been an author for about 6 years now. You see all my books, you will never see pastor there. Olumide Emmanuel. And when you see the title, singles, thou art loose. Because your title must not be more than 5 words, maximum 6. Then you use explanation. So I went around as I do. So by the time they look at the title, because when you want to buy, you look at the title. When you look at the title, it will attract you. When you now pick the book, quality, you now open. The pages are well arranged. The wordings are not making your height to shuloju. You know, they are very easy to read. You know, you look at everything. Now, when you look at that, you now go to the back to read about the authors. Okay, only church. Okay. You now read about that. Then you go inside, look at the table of content. When you have looked at that, the next thing you want to check is how much. If it's too expensive, you drop it. Who is he? So I decided that quality, title, and price will give me my penetration. So as I started writing books, I got to a point where anytime I release a book, there are people that know this guy writes well. His books are exceptional. So when I discovered that I have captured that, I now told myself it's time to now start making big money. So I started with Pathway to Wealth. I priced it well. Then when I got to School of Money, I said, this one, if you don't want to buy it, keep your poverty. And then I priced it. So it became a niche market. If you can't afford it, leave it. Hello. So you have to know how to navigate your own personal journey on all this pricing matter. Because for many of you, it's not pricing yourself well. And let me close with this one before I go to the other 2 points, because we have to finish it today. Now listen. Name your price. In the last few weeks, I've been tagged on some issues that have been online. Because some of the people that were involved, there are people in my network that are known along. Say, if Olumide Emmanuel speaks for him, people were tagged, they call your name, Now listen. If you want to price, don't reduce your price, give discounts. Hello? So when you hear now that, mentorship is $20,000. If you can't afford it, just keep quiet. Move on. But guess what? If you now have a desire and a hunger for learning, by the time you now contact and say, I saw that there is mentorship for $20,000. I cannot afford it. Is there anything you can say? Oh, no. Just pay 10%. Why? Because sometimes what people do is they put a price to create a brand perception. That doesn't mean that's what they will collect. Hello? So when you are a comedian, you are a musician, you can't charge. Do you understand now? And if they don't say how much, okay, well, the normal fee that we charge for something like this is this amount. But because it's a church, we only accept honorarium. So you put it at the top, normal fee. Because the same musician that I am, I go to sing at weddings, I sing at burial, I sing at housewarming, I sing at party. And that is not a church. So I charge for that. Do you understand? So, but now that a church is calling me, no, it's the work of God. whatever you can get a normal fee for, but because so what you have done is psychology. You have let people know that normally this is so, then whatever they give you, you collect with joy. Because it's only God that blesses. God is your source. Do you understand now? Whether you are a speaker, those are things you do. Me now, I'm a pastor, but I'm also a coach and a consultant. When I went to Harvard, I paid school fees in dollars. I didn't pay in naira. And you did not pay it. I'm the one that paid it. How will I recover the money? Do you understand? So when you invite me as a pastor till tomorrow, I still go to places where they give me nothing. Hello? Where I went to yesterday, that I'm telling you, I went to 3 meetings yesterday. Only one was love of relief. One is a amper they gave me. Amper. The second one, they gave me juice. Olumide Emmanuel 2025. No, if we don't say these things, you will not know. Hello? But guess what? When I finished in the men's conference yesterday, the overseer said, wow, in fact, we didn't know we could get you. We are so, this is powerful. We have seen you in another dimension. In fact, we need you to come. Can you come around November? I said, if the date is okay, I will come. Why? Because I'm a Christian. But guess what? This same week, I've been to Port Harcourt, it's invoice. They pay before I left Lagos. I've been to Abuja, it's invoice. They pay before I left Lagos. Why? Because that one is not Pastor Olumide, that's Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. So the money from those two can cover for your 1 year salary. Are you seeing how these things work? So if you don't understand this thing, many of you are underpricing yourself. The quality of what you have, you should not be suffering financially. But because you don't understand this pricing, you think you are a sinner. Hello? Anybody that invites you to come and talk in a real estate conference, they already know you will pay. Because it's not anointing you need. Hello? So let me give you the 2 other points because we have to close this today. So next to pricing, we have to spend time in pricing because it's very important. The next thing is profit. And now you understand. You have to make profit. So whatever you are doing, a business is any venture you embark upon for the purpose of what? Offering valuable products and services and making profit. So if you are not making profit, it is not a business, it's a charity. So you have to differentiate between non-for-profit, faith-based, NGO, and a business. If you are not making, in all labor, there is what? In all labor, there is what? When the Bible says in all labor there is profit, it's not money, but money is included. It means that when you labor, there must be something that comes as a return for that effort. Or else, you enter into what is called unprofitable labor. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden. So there must be profit. Very, very important. So if you are doing business and you are not making profits, that's trouble. So sometimes you need to, too many things. You need a heart to make a mark as a business person. Sometimes you need to just make that decision in Yoruba. Did you? Just make that decision that from today I'm not doing any business. I remember years ago, our senior pastor shared out that he made up his mind that any business that is below this amount, I'm not doing again. The very minute he made up his mind that any business below this amount, I'm not doing again, guess what happened? The businesses above that amount started showing up. Because the same effort, auditor, whether you are auditing a company that is doing turnover of 10 million, or you are auditing a company that is doing turnover of 1 billion, auditing is auditing. So why will I do 250,000 when I can make 25 million of the same labor? But if you don't make up your mind that I'm not doing this again, your eyes will be focused on those small things that are taking your time and wasting your time and energy, and the big one that you can do with this you will not see. Hello? So you just close your eyes. Sometimes you know that for my business to go to the next level, I need to employ people. But you are thinking of salary. What will I say salary to pay them? That's why you are still small. What did you wear? And you now, I was still telling them in the office within the week. I say, if you claim to be Christians, where is our faith? When you are not releasing faith. Faith is not only for money. You release faith to be holy. You release faith to live right. It's not just faith for one. Why is the faith? So if you make up your mind, okay, I'm going to employ 4 people. Before the end of the month, God will show up. Guess what? When you employ the 4 people, people come with money. By the time they come and they do the job, you will discover that the increase will come to take care of their salary. Hello? Finally, number 12. Posterity. After you have made all the money, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. After you have made all the money in the world, if all you do begins and ends with you, you have lived a miserable life. The perfect will of God is not to bless you. The perfect will of God is to make you a blessing. So, posterity, giving back, corporate social responsibility, big picture thinking, looking beyond yourself. So when you come to church, as God begins to elevate you, don't wait for pastor to come and raise offering. Just come to Pastor Favor and say, Pastor Favor, I don't know if there are people that need, I know that they talk about scholarship, but my family want to do 500,000 every month for them to put in the scholarship fund. Nobody needs to know. 500 every month scholarship, just anybody that needs to go to school can say, okay, my family can do 100,000 every month to be buying food for church shift and buying food for less privileged people. Hello? You can just come and say, okay, my family is taking care of this, my family is taking care of that. And before you know it, what are you doing? You don't need to wait, Club 50. No, they don't need to raise it. Come. Say, I've been trusting God to be a part of Club 50. Now I can. Can I have a form, please? Can I have Power Partners form? Oh, I did railroad before, but now I've been praying that one day I'll be able to write a check of $1 million. Can I have it now? Hello? That's the way you begin to do what? I didn't want to talk about CBS, but I still need to talk about CBS. Because when I spoke last week, many of you did not even know. Even me, I didn't know. Because sometimes, you think that I plan some of these things. I don't plan them all. It's when I'm on the altar, the thing will just move. Even me, when I wash myself, I'm like, even me, I tell myself, you should have done it like this. Even me, I correct myself. But by the time you now hear the testimony, you will know that it's God that is moving me. Do you know that when I left on Sunday, more people came to confess? I said, Pastor, before you hear from outside, I also did CBEX. And there were people in my office. And the person said, please, can you all excuse us? And I was there. My wife was there. When he said, can you all excuse? I was waiting. So my wife to go excuse you or what? So my wife don't even answer. We just, sorry, but now excuse. I said, so which one is it? He said, because I want to confess to you and mommy. That's what he said. I borrowed 1 million to do CBEX. True life story. 250 from 4 people to do CBEX and the money lost. I say, wow, you are truly foolish in the house of wisdom. I say, how much did you give for railroads? 200,000. Have you ever given 1 million to railroad before? No. Have you ever spent 1 million to go on a personal training to train yourself before? No. The gift that God gave you, have you ever used 1 million to push it so that the world will see your gift? But you could believe God for 1 million. The person in question now said, in fact, the way the money came, his favor, that everybody I asked, I was not even, I just said, please, can you get, and they were just giving me the money. I hope you know, if I come to the altar now, and I say, we're raising an offering, everybody, you are giving $1 million, if you have to go and borrow, do you know it will go viral? How can the pastor be telling you to go and borrow money, to come and give? But you borrow for CBEX. May the Lord have mercy upon you. May the mercy of God bring restoration. And the money you are owing God, may you pay. Because you are owing. Are you blessed?